My name is MAHLOELE, and I stand here representing a wonderfully diverse set of individuals, all part of what we call the Oxford Business Network for Africa. We are all different African consumers. We've worked and lived across various countries and cities around the world. We've evolved, we've changed our lifestyles, we've changed our tastes. We are the redefinition of the African consumer.
I want to talk today about the changing dynamics of financial services until we include the bottom pyramid together with the emerging middle class. That's when we start to have an important perspective of what the African consumer really is. We have a population that is becoming much more exposed to the benefits of technology, to mobile, to digital advancements.
Whatever business, any other form of business you have, we are dreaming about it. Draw it up very quickly, launch it very quickly, because you will say, I should have done so. And the stats and the wind was blowing, but I did nothing.
Every opportunity for massive change holds in itself an opportunity for massive failure. So if you look at the youth bulge and the youth unemployment, yes, that is a ticking time bomb. Yes, as Yvonne rightly said, if we don't get it right and we don't create an environment in which these youth can fully deploy their own potential, they are going to revolt.
I find it very arguably superficial when we're looking at the continent as consumers. It's more about development, as I said earlier, not about how much small packages of stuff we can sell.
Ironically, it's those economies that have seen great volatility in their exchange rate but have had this robust institutional framework where a central bank can say, we're going to be looking after consumers' interests. We are going to be doing everything we can to ensure stable rates of inflation. If that is a credible promise, it doesn't matter what the exchange rate does ultimately, that counts for a lot more in protecting purchasing power.
The entrepreneur in me says that you can't be general. You can't be general about anything. You know, I think the big entrepreneurial ideas come from induction and from deduction, where you say, this is how I feel about something. Are there sufficient people out there that would respond to that same need?
There will come a point in time when the necessity will shift to a desire. When this shift happens, then there will be a need to see how you improvise and adapt some models that are successful in the West.
I think it's a combination of really understanding the role that you play in society, but also, as you mentioned, I mean, how many women, because maybe of that image, they don't drink our products, and this automatically become also an opportunity for growth.
I would say for social entrepreneurs, actually the most wealth creation that's happened in my lifetime has been around providing technology to solve real problems and to move the ball forward.
A few people have asked me today, you know, what do you think I should focus on? What business opportunity do you think there is? And there's plenty. I think the most important thing when looking at entrepreneurship is to truly think really big, but start really small. So Africa is now. It's all about trade, it's not about aid, and we all know that. We've all been singing that. But it's time we collectively change our narrative. It's almost like we need to allow and enable our consumers to, how do we enable them to self-define?
As a technologist, as a business thinker, it's usually abstract for me to consider the Africa opportunity. But here in this room, you meet the people, you meet the different angles one-to-one, and you get a richer understanding for what's actually going on. You wouldn't get that outside or on the internet.
The fact that we have these forums to facilitate conversations and networking, that we can actually seize opportunities and talk about how we're going to act on them once we go back home or if we're still in the African diaspora is very important.
When we go back to what we do, irrespective of the vertical that we use to touch the consumer on the continent, we go back armed with a little bit more insight that helps us to do what we do a lot better.